Hey everyone, number 79 in my list of 100 greatest songs of all time is Killer Queen by Queen. I would say if you ask my dad about my music tastes, he would say Queen was my first favourite band because he has these stories about me in the high chair listening to Radio Gaga and bopping along to it and stuff like that. I still hold them very dearly. What I particularly love about Queen is that they've got 4 songwriters and they all have really different styles of writing. But, in their uniqueness, it makes for, like, if you take an album of their songs all together and their uniqueness, it makes for such a strange combination of musical styles. Killer Queen was written, music and lyrics by Freddie Mercury. A lot of the time you can tell the Freddie Mercury songs because he's piano based and that's his instrument of choice. And Brian May is more of the guitar sound. You've got John Deacon who wrote like Another One Bites the Dust and Under Pressure, the bass line for Under Pressure, and he is obviously more bass inclined. But Roger, what's his name, is not a good songwriter. But anyway, it doesn't really matter. He's like, he's got a couple of songs here and there. But the reason I find this to be the most Freddie of all Freddie Mercury songs is the lyrics, because it's the pomp of it all, of the extravagant uses of brands and people, and like real people and imagined people, and like even like even that's just such like the bounce and the hop of it all. And he starts off like, she keeps her moe and Shandon in her pretty cabinet. Let them eat cake, she says, just like Marie Antoinette. That's an absolutely brilliant lyric. A built-in remedy for Khrushchev and Kennedy. At any time an invitation you can't decline. Caviar and cigarettes, well-versed in etiquette, extraordinary lice. She's a killer queen, gunpowder, gelatine, dynamite with a laser beam, guaranteed to blow your mind. Perfume came naturally from Paris, naturally. For cars, she couldn't care less. Fastidious and precise. He's going through the dictionary or the thesaurus and just picking out these really brilliant words. She's a killer queen. Sorry, I read that. Drop of a hat. That's my favourite bit in the whole song. Drop of a hat. The way he does that, like an attire in mind. Drop of a hat. Because it comes in after the solo, drop of a hat. It's a brilliant solo as well, the tone of the guitar. Brian May's, if you don't know, like him and his dad made that famous Brian May guitar with like pieces of like a toilet and a fireplace, mantelpiece, whatever you want to call it, and the wood and all that, and they made it. That's why he has such a unique sound. Nobody else sounds like Brian May on the guitar. And he comes in with a rub of a hand. She's as willing as, playful as a pussycat, momentarily out of action, temporarily out of gas. And it does the harmonies to absolutely drive you wild. She's out to get you. The last bit, recommended at the price, insatiable in appetite. You want to try. It's all the most Freddie thing you'll ever see. There's a live version from that tour. It's songs from 1974, so he does a live version from that tour of Freddie Mercury singing it and playing the piano on it and stuff. And it's such a complete song. Like everything hits perfectly on it. But you can't watch Queen and like take your eyes. You can't take your eyes off Freddie Mercury in any performance. He's the greatest showman of all, I think. Anyway. Possibly the greatest vocalist of all time as well, all in one. Like the combination of holding the audience in the palm of your hand, and I think the band, if Queen themselves, have fit around him so perfectly, and everybody knowing what their role is and should be. Brian May seems to be striking as quite a quiet person, and he's obviously technically a brilliant guitar player. You've got Roger Taylor, who's a great drummer, but like his backing vocals in some of the songs are incredible as well, which kind of get overlooked because of Freddie, but some of his backing vocals are amazing. And then John Deacon's just holding the bass down, great bass player, probably the quiet one of the group, I would imagine, but they fit themselves around Freddie. I hated Bohemian Rhapsody. I don't use that word lightly, but I really despised it as as the most painting by numbers idea of what a band is or did look like, and the revisionism of even the places of the song. Sometimes like it'd show them performing a song, 2 years later to perform another song or writing another song that was written before the last song, and just kind of throwing stuff together to make it kind of cinematic and stuff. And it did all right out of it, but I shouldn't really get into my rant on Bohemian Rhapsody. It's not the time for that. But obviously the Killer Queen in the title is very much about the idea of this queen who's looking down on her subjects, even saying like, let them eat cake, she says, just like Marie Antoinette did, the whole famous line. There's a verse, to avoid complications, she never kept the same address. In conversation, she spoke just like a baroness. Met a man from China, went down to Geishimina, then again, incidentally, if you're that way inclined. Like, that's amazing lyrics. And I everybody appreciates. You can't say like, oh, nobody appreciates what Freddie did in the band, blah blah blah, because everybody knows he was a genius as much as the rest of them. But I'm always a big fan of like songs that are sketched out, or not even sketched out on the piano, but are played on the piano. And I think Freddie Mercury is a lovely way of playing the piano. He's obviously an excellent piano player, but there's something. If I was looking at this last night, sitting down and going, right, could I play a little bit of this for people? And to be honest, I couldn't. His when he writes like a piano player, much like obviously he is, and Elton John and stuff like that. And when I write on a piano, I'm writing it like a guitar player, if that makes sense. So when I see like how to play Killer Queen on the guitar, it'll be on a capo, third fret, blah blah blah, whatever it is. And I sit down the piano, and then the chords and notes are just foreign to me, because it's written by someone who truly learned how to play music at the piano. So it's very difficult for me to do that with Freddie Mercury's Queen's music. So I just learned that bit. Because it's just C minor and B flat, so that'll have to do it. But yeah, Killer Queen. All right, bye.